please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to hear how life has been since our last conversation. Essentially, Sergio and I founded this company, as most of you know, about 10 years ago, starting in multifamily, really cutting our teeth in property management. And today, 10 years later, having evolved into more focused on asset management, really laser focused on our acquisitions and disposition strategy, and very much expanding into our development and construction next phase of our business. I'm very excited to share with you some of our bench of ever deepening and expanding resources in this space particularly. Here's a visual representation of that over the past few years. Really a very special thank you to those investors who are with us tonight, who have been with us from the very beginning of our starts in multifamily. We were thrilled and honored to deliver an average of 24% IRR to our first round of investors in multifamily, and really took to heart the trust that you all placed in us as we pivoted from multifamily to storage with our first acquisition in 2019, Bird in Hand Self-Storage, which is now under contract to sell later next month. And then leveraging all of the experience that we took being boots on the ground and very hands-on in the property management field in multifamily, took ourselves to task with self-storage, really focused on stabilizing Bird in Hand, which had no technology to speak of upon acquisition, implementing our primary drivers in our business plan there, which was technology implementation and back-end operations, which situated us perfectly for when COVID hit and shut the world down. We were able to continue operations rather seamlessly through contactless service because we had gotten all of our technology projects in play and up and running from acquisition date. So 2020 really focusing on refining all of that, which set us up really well for 2021, which was quite a busy year of a total of 10 acquisitions, and where we also started stepping our toe into a little bit more expansion and baby starts to development. So we currently have 7 projects in flight that are various stages of ground up development, some small conversions and expansions. Those projects all started late in 2021. For those of you who are here with us, thank you, investors from Hearthfire Growth Fund 2. You'll be very familiar with our efforts there in the Indiana portfolio. And those investors from Crete, Illinois, which we closed on May of this year, same thing, a very large expansion there that we're very excited about the progress so far in the first few months of acquisition. So that's where we are today with approximately 50 million in total assets under management. Another visual representation. So as I said, 11 properties, about 50 million in overall asset value, approximately 2,300 units and 350,000 net rentable square feet. Where we see ourselves going tomorrow, this is our big goal, but this is where we're targeting, and this is what we work tirelessly towards every day, is we are seeking to deliver 1 billion in value for our investors, our partners, and our team. It's a big number, and so we are practicing saying it out loud and sharing it with you so that you know that we're just getting started. How we plan to get there is through alignment with our core values, which is that we will go the extra mile, whether it's showing up at 7 p.m. on a Wednesday when most of the team is sick and recovering from being in Vegas for a very full week-long conference, having tenacious perseverance through whatever ups and downs being a business owner and being a younger up-and-coming company and business operation can throw at us, and approaching problems as opportunities to solve and curiosity, understanding that the best answers come when we finally ask the right question. And so it's really about focusing in on, are we asking the right question? Can we look at this situation another way in order to get to the best possible answer? And then fundamentally, Sergio and I are both very driven by contributing more to the world than what we take from it. those of you with whom we're connected in various networking groups, whether it's our community or our church or various other masterminds, you know us, you get this about us already. If you're newer to our world and we haven't spoken recently, or maybe you and I have not spoken directly, again, please feel free to reach out, shoot me a quick note after tonight, and let's fix that. Here are some of our growing advantages as we are now 10 years into our life cycle as investors and business owners. So we've got people on our team, whether actively in the day-to-day or on our board of advisors, if you will, or on our shortlist to call when we need to phone a friend, of folks who have experience in the real estate through multiple cycles, right? Which is more important now than ever before as we enter recessionary times. We stick to a very disciplined investment strategy and understanding that at the end of the day, the protection of our own personal as well as our investor capital is tantamount, right? So we make sure that we stick very closely to that and to our fiduciary duty of safeguarding your investment and your finances at all costs, right? And sometimes that means saying no. In a very frothy market, that means saying no a lot of the time and making sure that we remain crystal clear on our ultimate objective and only pursuing deals that are perhaps not guaranteed, but that we feel extremely confident in delivering upon that. And then our, now at 10 years in, are a bit of a track record that we've been able to develop, right, by delivering investor returns so far. The Bird in Hand self-storage portfolio, which is under contract for sale, will be delivering a very nice return to our investors, which we are thrilled to be able to deliver to them. And we are proud to say that the bulk of those investors are trusting us enough to continue to take this journey with us and roll those gains forward through a 1031 exchange into the acquisition of this portfolio. So there's already a large commitment of investor capital through 1031 exchange in these properties that we'll be talking about tonight. We also feel like we bring a unique perspective to our approach as investors, right? With both Sergio and my backgrounds working for the Fed, certainly his far longer and far deeper than my own. Him with 20 plus years, I managed to survive there 5 years, and then coming to real estate after having full life experiences of our own and different perspectives and approaches to bring to now our new life in real estate and investing. So you'll see here some of our associations. I also think it's quite unique to find one of our development resources has a master's in economics from I believe Rutgers, and not something that you find every day amongst those who are in the development trenches. So that's a cool little tidbit as well. And he and Serge love to chat macroeconomics and the Fed and all things that are at the top of our mind, especially nowadays. You can find more in Sergio's and my words on various podcasts. I contributed to The Only Woman in the Room, which was put out by the Real Estate Investor community. So you can find Sergio on Bigger Pockets, episode 545. If we're not connected with you through GoBundance, I cannot say enough great things about that community. So this is your official invitation to check it out if you're not a member. And I am also incredibly passionate about the Real Estate Investor community, which is all about empowering women in real estate investing. So that's where else you can find us outside of webinars and all things Hearthfire. Here are some of our other core team members, some of the fantastic folks that we're spending a lot of time with, especially lately. So Will Lockard is our Director of Construction and wrangling the 7 projects that we have going on now. Will is a local here with us in Pennsylvania, second generation in construction in self-storage, and has been a rock star addition to our team. We are thrilled to have him. Rick and Megan are our self-storage management, third-party management partners. If you did not see, there was a press release put out earlier this year announcing our strategic partnership. We did start out self-managing and managing the managers. Well, first of all, doing the boots on the ground management ourselves in the very early months, and then managing the managers. And then as we scaled very quickly, especially over these past 2 years, it was time to bring in a trusted partner to take the reins there for now, while Sergio and I focus on the continued growth and accelerated scaling up of our business and continuing to identify the right projects, the right properties, and partnerships to continue to grow this this new storage portfolio. So Rick and Megan, as you can see, have deep industry experience and expertise as owners themselves, and then also in conversions and in development from the ground up, which is a nice bonus when you add them with Whitney Development, who is our third party development partner. Dan has, as you can see, over 10 years experience and substantial experience in building not only storage, but also industrial apartments and retail. So quite a resource that we have there in Dan. Our investment philosophy is a fine balance between being responsive and adapting to changing market conditions, while also maintaining that discipline that I mentioned earlier and understanding our fiduciary duty to our investors. And looking at data, since Sergio, as the tech visionary, is mad about all things data, and marrying that with a little bit of artfulness and understanding that there can be different ways to look at the numbers and to look at a project and figure out the best ways to make all the puzzle pieces work. We also have been incredibly focused on making sure that we are building a company for scale, because at the end of the day, if one of us needs to take a sick day or a sick night, the show still must go on, right? The company still has to function. You all still need to hear from us about how your investment is performing. And so we are very attentive to what we need to do to continue to build a company that will deliver long past when we are in the trenches. Our focus on tech is thanks to Sergio and his 20+ years in tech and being such an advocate for replacing anything that's repeatable or manual, anything that can be replaced with technology and process and systems, we do, right? And so that landscape in storage particularly is still constantly changing and evolving. Most of our acquisitions still continue to be in large part a tech project, and I'll talk about that as we get to the specific 2 properties. We also implement that in how we operate our business and how we manage our business verticals and reporting out to investors, to other team members, to our vendors. So again, just focusing on tech and making sure that we're not missing any opportunity to optimize how we operate, whether it's our business or our facilities. Here's another visual representation of our timeline and how so far, just over these past 3 years, we've been able to create $8 million in added value. So you can see from the far left, Bird in Hand, which was acquired for 1.75, is under contract to sell for 3.235. We have had brokers estimates of value for the subsequent 2 acquisitions. That is that, and our current NOI is where we're coming up with today's stabilized value. Also worth noting is the Lancaster County portfolio still has a significant expansion underway, so that's not even yet factored into the stabilized value. There's more to come there. And then the LaPorte and Marshall, Indiana portfolio, which was our Hearthfire Growth Fund 2, which closed in November of 2021, is where we have 4 ongoing projects now, many of them medium-sized expansions. Will County, Illinois is a large expansion, as you can see, more than doubling that, and that we are through the permits phase, and we are getting our structures delivered any day now and breaking ground. And so very exciting phase of that project. And then Sussex County, Delaware is the LaPorte acquisition that we will be closing on here